754. This again was talked about last week. It's $32,000 to a scientific boiler water conditioning for providing water treatment services. Freeholder Jalloh actually asked questions about. I guess he asked questions whether how much money was spent before that, and he asked for additional information on that. I mean, it's nice that a freeholder is asking questions, but he has no expertise in boiler water conditioning. So I would really like for you, for Freeholder Jalloh, to explain just what his idea is and why he was questioning that resolution.
When you get some folks who come up and question things and certainly want things both ways. So if this board didn't ask questions, there would be criticism on why didn't you ask questions. When you ask questions and you get questions on the motive for asking questions, I think it's really absurd. And no one should have to answer, and I'm glad that Freeholder Jalloh didn't answer why he asked questions. I think that's ridiculous. It's also interesting that folks will continue to come up and criticize members of this board or former members of this board like Freeholder Sullivan. What they don't see is the countless hours of dedication that the freeholder gave on behalf of the residents of Union County. They don't see the meetings at night. They don't see the weekend events, time away from his family or any of our families. And I just think it's always interesting that we continue to get this critique from the public. I will say that also, and I appreciate Freeholder Bergen mentioning the sensory-friendly theater that's going on this weekend at 2 o'clock at the Union County Performing Arts Center in Galway. Some of the best letters I ever got as a freeholder were from parents and friends of folks who have participated in that event, in a series of concerts and plays over the last couple of years that we've been having those. And I think it's completely worthwhile and something that's necessary. I'm glad that the Chairman Carter expanded that program this year for individuals who use that as a place to come in a non-judgmental atmosphere. I'm sure someone will mention the Union County Means Business event for women. I felt was very successful, and I was happy to participate in that. I'm glad to see that has been a completely successful program in 2013 again. And then the last thing I wanted to offer was an update on the Medal of Honor Memorial that this county is preparing. We have plans and have established a permanent outdoor memorial to the Medal of Honor recipients from Union County. This memorial will be located here at the County Administration Complex right outside these doors. We have set a date to commemorate this memorial. It's Friday, October 25th at 2 o'clock at the county courthouse. We've assembled a collection of materials on the recipients, and we hope to use that to create a traveling educational exhibit. We're proud of the Medal of Honor recipients, the highest award for men and women that serve our military, and I hope all of you will take time out of your day to attend this ceremony. If you would need more information, please call the Union County Office of Veterans Affairs at 659-7407. I'd like to thank the Veterans Affairs Committee, Lester Sargent in particular, who's been really instrumental in driving this program. I'm sure this memorial will make us all proud once it's established. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. County Manager?
No report, Madam Chair.
Vice Chair Hudak?
Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple quick points. First, we from time to time will get questions about the UASI grant and the funding that goes into the consortium of communities and counties that pool their resources together to apply for federal funding for Homeland Security. And often we're asked, why are we purchasing equipment that's used in other towns? Well, a great example of why we do that is the recent fire in Seaside Heights in the County of Union. Through our mutual aid system and Homeland Security equipment played a key role in the response and subsequent control of that fire. Union County Mutual Aid coordinated the efforts of more than 30 officers from Elizabeth, Kenilworth, Linden, Roselle, and Union Township who brought all the components of the Neptune fire suppression system to the fire scene last Thursday and drew water from Barnegat Bay. The Neptune system, which is stationed in Union County and purchased through the Homeland Security funds, was deployed to battle the fire, providing thousands of gallons per minute to pour on the blaze that destroyed 4 blocks of the newly constructed, reconstructed boardwalk in Seaside Heights. The Neptune pumper was praised as a turning point in putting the fire out. I want to thank all the efforts on behalf of the board of the County Public Safety Department and to our county fire personnel. It also underscores the regional importance of Union County's role in securing grants and purchasing key equipment such as the Neptune pumper through UASI, which was created after September 11th to protect metropolitan areas. And also just a quick response to, I don't know how quick, to the gentleman who, he spoke about the property taxes and the county property taxes and how it was affecting his neighbor. And, we're always very sensitive to that. We are trying to address our budget issues as all municipalities and all government entities, and that includes school districts in the state of New Jersey. This past morning, I turned on TV and there was a commercial by an individual who's running for governor. I won't name his name. But he took credit for providing the largest amount of school funding ever for public schools in New Jersey. And I went and pulled the numbers, and 100% correct. In Union County, in 2013 and 14, we received $638 million in state aid through the state government to our school districts all throughout Union County. And in 2009, 2010, that was the last year Governor Corzine did the budget, it was $620 million. But when you look at the fine print, Union County cities and their school districts and the taxpayer got hosed. Let me give you some examples. Berkeley Heights.
Move on.
I'm sorry,
need
this
any
is not your
campaign.
meeting. You can leave now.
2009 and 2010.
Why would I wanna leave
Excuse
with
me,
that?
I don't mean any harm, but you're not going to holler from
Oh,
your
this is
seat.
BS.
I'm sorry.
He's
Okay,
taking shots at the
leave.
governor. Why don't I want to
You
go
can
up and
leave
refute it
now.
then?
You are totally out of order.
In 2009 and 2010, they received $2 million in state aid. That aid was zeroed out in 2010 and 2011, and they are back up this year to a whopping $1.12 million, a little over half of what they received under this government. Cranford, $3.3 million in 2009 and 2010. They received 2.2 this year. New Providence, they received 1.4 in 2009 and 2010. They received 800,000 this year. My hometown of Linden received 21 million this year. That's down from nearly 25 in 2009 and 2010. That equated to losses of personnel, teachers, educators, reading coaches in schools throughout Union County. But moreover, that also led to a bigger bite out of the taxpayer. So, sort of respectfully, we are looking to address our budget issues, and we've been very aggressive about it. And a lot of comments made about the meeting we're having after this, the executive session we're having after this regular meeting to talk about Reynolds Hospital. That's part of this process. But we have to remember that voters need to remember that the bite coming out of their tax bill is also coming from Trent, and money that was taken to fund their schools is being taken away and diverted to other causes. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Before I turn it over to the county manager, I'd like to thank my colleagues, especially Freehold. Excuse me, Ms. Brenna, if you cannot be quiet or speak a lot lower, then you can leave also. Thank you. One of the things I'd like to say is, Freehold and Maribel, thank you for your comments, because I think it's important for everyone to understand the fact that we don't just show up to these meetings and open up a piece of paper and think that we're voting on it. There is a lot of work that is done behind the scenes, and there is communication that goes on. One of the things, we do have committee meetings we're assigned to, and we do work those committee meetings. I want to thank the directors for the hard work that they do. They do prep for our meetings, but I don't think the directors know the questions that we are going to ask them because we don't give them to them before we come out here, or it may be something that they have said that has sparked one of the questions that we do ask. And if they have to go back and get the information, I'd rather them come back and get us information that is correct, which they do provide to us, than them giving us wrong information. So I do appreciate that. And thank you for mentioning the county means business, because absolutely,
I guess you heard the Mirabella's comments. That was in the freeholder wrap-up. Something about you can't have it both ways. You know, and he's talking specifically to me. You know, residents say we don't have ask enough questions, and when we do ask questions, residents question their questions. Well, how about that? It's called public input. You know, we'd like to know things. But what it was all about was Freeholder Jalloh in the agenda-setting meeting asked about this resolution that was going to be on the meeting tonight. It was a $30,000 cost to a boiler water maintenance company that maintained the boilers. You know, I don't know how many boilers. I didn't ask any questions, but somewhere we got a bunch of boilers, and it has to be maintained. And I agree. I'm in that mechanical industry, and I understand what that was. But Jalloh asked. He goes, what was the cost the last time, and how often does it has to be done? He wanted to know the particulars, which is interesting because Jalloh has no concept of the mechanical and the water boiler. So twice in the resolution questions, I asked the question, what was his thinking? Why did he ask that question? Then in the public comment on anything, because I didn't get an answer, by the way. So in the public comment, I wanted to know again why he was asking specifics of that, because it just seemed out of left field. So anyway, so Jalloh didn't answer it again. Mirabella then comes out with a comment. I'm glad Jalloh didn't answer the residents' questions. You can't have it both ways. You know, question. You know. But anyway, I still would like to know why Jalloh was inquiring about that. Because, you know, if I don't hear an answer, then maybe I'm starting to find out a little bit about corruption. He's trying to get enough information out where maybe he can get one of his cronies that probably started a water treatment firm in to take the $30,000.
That's a stretch.
No, I don't think it's a stretch, to tell you the truth. It's their modus operandi. I mean, you got Scanlon's sister. What was that? $2 million.
Phone
Yes,
contract.
yeah, some kind of phone contracts. So anyway, so that's it. Mirabella, you're just an idiot too. I mean, we call everybody morons. Well, you are. So that's it.
More.